The following is a presentation of TFNN. The TFNN Bull Bear Trading Hour. Every trading day, live at 10 a.m. Eastern. Call now, toll free at 877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. The TFNN Bull Bear Trading Hour. Now, Tom and Tommy O'Brien.
Welcome, folks. Appreciate you growling and prowling with us out here. We have the Dow Industrials right now up 130. Nasdaq's up 43. S&P's up 14.5. Gold contract up $10, trading 13.08. We get silver up 6 cents, $15.48 an ounce. Light sweet crude up 92 cents, $57.79 a barrel. Numbers out this morning. Right?
Yeah, half hour from now we'll get those EIA higher crude prices. So coming at us, man.
No doubt. Notes and bonds. Bottom line, folks, you are right next to the January highs. They pushed higher with volume yesterday. Get the 10-year note down 2 ticks, 122.26. 30-year off 10 at 146.03. And King Dollar down 200 ticks, trade 96.700. King Dollar, bottom line, failed the highs once again. You get the euro trading out here at a price point of 113.10. The yen is at 111, and the pound is at 131.87.
Sell it every time they think about a vote. Buy it every time they're
amazing.
I don't know. I'm joking, but quite a thrust down, and then that rebound. We're almost at 132 again, right?
This is where, if you pay attention to the market, folks, the market's telling you that it's not going to be a hard Brexit.
Right.
I mean, that's they're going back and forth, but guess what?
Definitely.
That Brexit.
Definitely agreed.
Let's go over to our man, Mr. Kevin Hinks at TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim. And folks, if you haven't test driven yet the Thinkorswim platform, amazing platform. Come over to our website at TFNN. You're going to see the banner. Pull it up. It'll allow you to trade with paper money. You can watch Kevin and his team every trading day. You want to understand options, option strategies, defined risk, totally where it's at. Kevin Hinks, what's going on?
Good morning, guys. If we've learned anything in the last couple years, it's that politicians do love deadlines, don't they?
Oh, Kevin,
it's nothing like motivation of a deadline, right?
I was saying yesterday that whatever this extension is going to be, if it's 3 months, it's going to be a day before 3 months. If it's 3 years, it's going to be a day before 3 years.
You see how we do it, like you're saying, politicians,
Everyone.
right? We, debt limit. Oh, we'll wait till 5 hours before we're going to do same deal, right? Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, it's just amazing to me that they don't have the ability to just, there is so much. All you got to do, if you think that there's not volatility attached to this Brexit vote and the corresponding move, look at July 23rd of 2016 and look at the candles from that day. That was the original day of the Brexit vote. Yep. And the trade that ensued. And, this market can and will move when something happens there. I mean, it'll affect currencies. It'll affect the British pound. It'll affect the euro. It'll affect the dollar, and corresponding every other market as well. So, it's sitting out there.
Oh, it's sitting out there, man. And it's amazing. Like, if picture, what you have to put yourself in, folks, is that you are doing business out there, whether you're in a small business in general, just say a small business, and then all of a sudden all these borders shut down, and Europe is like the United States. They're countries, yes, but they're small states, yes, really.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so how do you do business? All of a sudden, I can't do like this. We're doing business in Chicago. Your headquarters in Chicago, right? We're in Florida. We're broadcasting all over the place, and all of a sudden, hold it. No, it's
just, man, they got trucks going over borders, right?
Yeah.
You have to inspect every truck. That's what you do at customs.
Right.
The amount of trucks that they have going over certain borders is just monumental, as in that process. That's what they're dealing with, yeah.
And not to mention who has the answer for what they're going to do with Ireland?
Yeah,
Through all this, right?
Exactly.
What are they going to do, put up a wall in the middle of the country?
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
So that right there should give everyone pause that this isn't going to be anything easy, which personally, as an Irishman, I take offense to. by the way.
A couple Irish guys over here, maybe.
And this is our month, folks. Okay.
That's right.
And that's why gold's up $10. By the way.
We'll go with that. Sure.
Nice. Look at you connecting the dots.
Oh, listen,
That's
man.
awesome.
We're all little leprechauns. What can you do, man?
The Irish pot of gold,
Yeah.
man. Watch out.
But isn't it interesting the fact that we're watching Boeing, a stock with so much news on, up 1% this morning.
Yeah.
After trading down into the 360s overnight, it's now up 1%. That is amazing.
It is.
It's, this is going to be a long, drawn-out story, unfortunately, but
Right.
there's no doubt that.
But at the end of the day, Tom, you as a trader, you got to make a decision. Is this going to be something that is a fundamental flaw in this plane, or maybe the fact that these planes, 5 months apart, crashed basically 900 miles from each other on the same continent, right? Is there a connection between those two, and how does that relate to Boeing and Boeing stock for traders? We don't, we have to do what we do, which is figure out how to trade these stocks based on that. And this news, it just keeps coming out slowly, but surely.
And folks, what's so cool here is this, right? So picture Kevin and his team, when they do the program every day, they're talking about defined risk, they're talking about strategies. This is the perfect situation in a Boeing to look at the option inside it so that you can actually see what the defined risk is. And that defined risk, folks, inside Boeing, it's going to go up and down every day.
Sure.
And even in the option market, which is so cool, man.
Yeah.
Because you can really get a handle on it.
Tom, Oliver Rennick and I just did a segment on our network because we're talking about NVIDIA. And the same thing applies to Boeing. Very few small retail investors have $37,000 that 100 shares of Boeing would cost.
Totally.
Right? And just like NVIDIA, it's $16,000. Well, I made up a trade on Oliver Rennick's show that was $1,350 instead of $16,000.
Yeah.
Right? And with a bullish direction, and if you think that NVIDIA is doing things right, it was a bullish trade, but it was a fraction of the amount they would pay, and that allows smaller account retail traders, which a lot of people have, to trade these names that are, it could dwarf someone's trading account, let's face it, if you wanted to trade 100 shares of Boeing right now.
And you know what's so cool about this, folks, right? As Kevin said, it's 1,600 instead of 16,000.
Yeah.
So you only lose 1,600. I don't want you to lose anything. I'm not saying it, but that's a whole different animal.
Yeah.
And when you're dealing with large numbers like this, like $167.69 with NVIDIA, well, guess what? You can be up or down $5 at a heartbeat.
As we're up today, $5. Right. Yeah, totally.
It's
right. I mean, right now, guys, 100 shares of Boeing on the Thinkorswim platform, $37,800.
I'll get my checkbook.
And that's only for 100.
Right.
That's only for 100
that's 100 shares.
Yeah.
You want 1,000 shares, man. You're almost up at $500,000.
Right. So, I mean, that is what options give retail investors, is the ability to play these stocks. And let's face it, guys, the evolving theme through stocks right now is less and less of stock splits.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so more and more stocks are getting more and more expensive numbers. So like a Boeing that's trading $377. Some retail traders could never trade that, or maybe they could only trade 10 shares or something like that. Well, options allow you to do something much more than that.
When's Amazon going to be trading at 5,000?
And it's like, why would you want to anyway? That's the other side of it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, even if you had the bread, it makes more sense to trade the option on it than to put that money at risk.
Yeah.
I mean, really? You have the same deal.
You get that leverage.
Leverage. Folks, right here, 45 minutes from now, outstanding program. Kevin, you have a great one, safe one. We look forward to the program.
Have a great day, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Stay right there, folks. Tommy and I come right back. We'll get those oil numbers coming up also.
The TAS Profile Scanner is the most revolutionary piece of trading software that you will ever try. Wouldn't you like to approach the markets with confidence? As you begin your trading day, it's likely that you'll be faced with lots of decisions. In order to make the best decision, the first thing you'll need is a strategy that will help you minimize your risks. Whether we're in a bull or bear market, a good strategy is to have the tools needed to help you scan and analyze the markets before you trade. The Taz Profile Scanner instantly scans and filters over 2,500 global financial markets, such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, president of Taz Market Profile, the Taz Profile Scanner understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications, automated trading algorithms, and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. Whether you're looking at the trade matrix, the ETF heat grid, the market breadth, the landscape charts, or the many other features of the Taz Profile Scanner, this is a piece of software that will revolutionize how you look at the markets and set up your trades. The team at Taz has even put together a 12-part video series to walk you through every aspect of the Taz Profile Scanner, which you can find directly on the Taz order page at TFNN.com. Sign up now for only $97 a month with a risk-free 30-day trial, so you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. See for yourself how you can harness the full power of the Taz Profile Scanner by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the Taz Profile Scanner under the Services section. Remember, with a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Don't let another day pass you by without trying out this amazing piece of software that will revolutionize how you look at the market and how you place trades. Sign up today.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live, and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Welcome back, folks. Dow Industrials right now up 127. You get the Nasdaq up 43. S&P are up 15.5. So football players on the way to work out here this morning. There is some big action.
There sure is. I almost can't keep
New
track
York
of
Giants fans are going out of their minds.
They are. So they got rid of Odell Beckham Jr. and that's a tough deal when he was probably their best player, best receiver. They got a very aging, very suspect Eli Manning at their helm, 38 years old, kind of past his prime to be nice. And so it looks like they're fully on a rebuild type.
And so what did they get for that guy? I mean,
they got some draft picks and one guy. They got a first rounder this year, I believe, a third rounder in a future year, and maybe one other player.
Yeah, I was at a restaurant last night, and these people that
Giants fans, yeah.
They were literally going out of their minds.
Anytime you trade either one of the best receivers, running backs, quarterbacks in the league, and he's definitely one of the best receivers in the league.
And then who was the other guy that sat out last year?
So then you have Le'Veon Bell, who was the Steelers running back. I believe he's going to the Jets. Let's see. I believe so. There's so many actions. Yeah, so Odell Beckham went to the Browns, who was from the Giants.
Okay.
Bell went to the Jets. And then Antonio Brown, who was also on the Steelers losing one of the best receivers and running backs. And where did Brown go? Yeah. Maybe the Raiders? It's
30
possible.
years old, Miami, Florida, huh?
I'm not sure. There was a lot. You didn't let me get prepared for this one.
No,
I know. You're like, let's talk about all the trades. I'm like, oh, okay.
No, well, it's amazing.
There's a lot. What happened was the trade deadline. They were just allowed to start making deals this week. Okay. So that's where things really, you can't have quote unquote negotiation. You can't have like official negotiations,
Yeah.
but there's always like off the book negotiations.
Right.
You can't officially sign somebody until this day. But what happens is they'll make deals prior, and they can't sign them, so they can always be broken, right?
Right.
But the news will report of deals ahead of this
That's
number,
second.
and then they're just waiting to sign it. And you can always renege because it's not signed. That's like the date that they can start making those deals. But there's already some deals in the work usually ahead of those.
Pretty wild, man.
Yeah. Football season, where are we at? No, we got a long way to go, but
God.
yeah. All right, Wednesday.
Oh, yeah, oil.
You got it, man. So, jumping around, there's our crude oil contract. I'm just going to close out these for some clarity. So we're looking at the April contract. Quite a run up from yesterday, right? I didn't see the API. There's your volatility, though. I can't see
There's
it
a
on.
draw of, I think, 6 million barrels, I think.
Okay,
5.5
so I can
or
just,
something.
you know, I automatically 430. You can usually
Right.
find the spot on the chart just by sticking out. And so let's just jump in. We'll see what kind of contracts we got going on. We're going to jump to the crude oil. Let's see first where the 11 a.m.s line up. So again, we're trading at 57.82. What might be a nice price point if you wanted volatility from one way or the other. You didn't want to pay too much intrinsic value, kind of like we're talking about with Kevin, right?
Yep.
You want the most leverage you can get. And really, if you pay a lot of intrinsic value, you got to pay a lot for that, right?
Right.
That's versus just paying very little premium, where it's kind of like an at-the-money option
Yes.
that you're looking for,
Right.
right? You don't want a deep in-the-money option, because then you got to pay for all that intrinsic value. You don't necessarily want a deep out-of-the-money option,
Right.
because then you're just paying a lot of premium for a real outlier event. So
Yeah.
it's kind of nice when they line up right kind of at the money. So 57.81, ideally maybe we'd be looking for 57.75.
75, yeah.
58 wouldn't be the end of the world if you had a little bearish bias. But the 11 a.m. is not really going to give us a great option. You got either 57.50 you can have exposure for.
Okay.
You got 58.25. All right, so let's jump around. We'll jump to, now what's good is I already know that the price points are going to be different. And I know that because this has been moving one way, and
Right.
that's positive. So these are going to get readjusted every single time they open. So jump into the noons. See, before I even look at them, I
Look
knew
at
they were
that.
going to be different, right? I didn't know they were going to line up, but right, I
Yeah.
knew they were going to be different because the price is moving throughout the day as they're getting set. So here would be your bullish spread. You got a $1.50 to the upside. In this contract, you can have about 5 pennies of intrinsic value. So that's costing you about $29. Contracts trading at 57.80. You get 5 pennies of intrinsic, and the rest being basically premium. And then on the bearish side, this is going to be slightly out of the money. It's going to be a little bit cheaper. You're looking at 22, so you're looking at $50 or 50
Okay.
cents away from that 57.75, and that's till the noon, so not bad. And we've had some volatility on oil, right? That
Oh,
seems a
yeah.
little bit pricey, and it might just be because of these moves. We're up at $58 now, but let's see how some of the 230s line up. Okay, so, excuse me, the main daily is going to give us 57.50. And the $5 spreads are going to give us basically 57. Now, again, you know, we always look at the volatility because it's nice. You don't have to pick a
Right.
side. You don't even have to decide whether it's going up or down. You just decide, is this price worth paying with the EIA numbers coming in 6 minutes, right, versus the volatility? And most of the time, it seems pretty affordable. Today, though, it's a little pricey.
It is. No,
And
it
that's
is.
where you want to get used to
50
these.
cents is
It is,
It's not
'cause-
that it's a big move, but we're already moved a lot.
We have, and you have to keep in mind that if you only close out one side of this trade, your max profit is $1.50.
Right.
So you're putting up 50
Ooh,
cents.
yeah.
And unless you plan on, which we talk about, you can close out one, side of it, you get a spike,
Right.
you look for a pullback or something in one way. But realistically, you just get a one-shot move in one direction, right? You're risking 50 to make $1.50, and then you're capped. So that's
Right.
where, when you start getting into 50, 60 cents,
That's
it's
right.
not a lot if you have unlimited potential like an option. This isn't like an uncapped option.
Right.
You're capped at $1.50, so just keep it in mind.
Big difference.
Yeah, so sitting at about 57. And look, so now we're only a penny away. Let's just see out of curiosity if that changes at all. There's our bullish, there's our bearish. A little bit cheaper, 47.
Yeah.
As that just ticked right back, and now we're kind of like right under that contract. So there you're paying basically no intrinsic value. And we'll see where those numbers shake out, man. We get those numbers in about 5 minutes.
And I'm going to just bring this up for a second. Let me just see with this contract. So right now, where are you? Okay, so we're up 1.7%.
Dollar even.
Yeah.
And I think this is just a little bit delayed, that's all, which is why
Yeah.
it's saying 57.86. Live contract trading about 57.75.
This is going to be interesting, folks. So we're right at the top of the range.
Yeah.
So this is just even not even the volatility out here today for this trade.
Yeah.
But that 57.81, you break topside and you get action. So this is going to be a big day.
I mean, we haven't been above this level going back to the beginning of November.
Right.
And it's March. That's a good 5 months that we've been sitting under there, let alone how far we actually made it. I mean, you're looking at a low of $43 on the dot, and we're now approaching 60. Yeah. And that was on
That's amazing.
Good old Christmas Eve when everything was rocking and rolling.
Yeah, the oil companies didn't get any presents from Santa Claus. Like
Nobody got any presents except for the
Right.
shorts, maybe.
Right.
Yeah. I was going to go to Top Live and just see some, because they usually have the oil up here, right? Here's your stats. They might have some tidbits. I was looking for maybe the API. You said maybe there was a draw. Let's see. API 2.58 was the API for a draw last night. And even, let's get in, we go into the whisper number sometimes, right? And let's see what maybe the expectation.
Oh, there it is.
So it's closed, because I think they close it within like about 5 minutes. So they're looking for whisper number about 2 million barrel decline. And that usually varies a little bit differently from the median analyst, but you can see even down here, right? They have the estimates 2.4, 2.5. We're looking for a decline somewhere around that API.
Stay right there, folks. Tommy and I are coming right back. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Dow is up 118, Nasdaq's up 40, S&P's up 14.5. Come right back.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. We have the Dow Industrials up 120, Nasdaq up 40, S&P's up 15,
And we
oil.
saw, right? I
Yeah.
pull it up, it ticked off, so we had a decline of about 3.8, I think I saw. There we go. Crude oil inventories falling 3.86 million barrels, a little bit more. We might get a little price pop on that. You got gasoline inventories falling 4.62, and there was, you know, the expectation. Oh boy, look at this. The expectation was an increase of 2.5 on Bloomberg. Oh boy, okay.
That's quite a variation.
And there's your pop. So we're trading 57.75. You got basically a 27 cent pop right off the bat. Those contracts we were looking at down here, this would be your bullish spread. This one's going to have a majority of the value right now. I say the majority because even though this contract being bearish is dramatically out of the money, you can see that even it's still, you could close it out for $10 and take your money off, right? Or something, because you have 90 minutes of going in. Bullish contract, though, nonetheless. That's you get $30 of equity right now in the bullish. You got about 10 in the bearish. You can see that, you know, you only put up 47.
Right.
You need more movement than this. But nonetheless, I mean, this is where it's a cool trade because you could, if you didn't get what you wanted right away, even you could say, "Listen, I'm just gonna close this out. Yeah, right. I'm gonna take my $30 here. You know, I'm gonna take my 8 to 10 here, and you're back at 38, 40. You know, it's not the end of the world.
It's not.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
You just might have wanted more of a react. Now the other side is you say, hey, guess what? This should have gotten more of a pop here. I'm gonna, and this is where I talk about both sides, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna close out my bullish spread, take my 31. I cut my risk down to only about $17, $18.
Right.
And then your bearish spread remains active, and anything under 57.75 becomes profit, and you're only risking about $18 for that contract. And to get into this contract right now would cost you 14. So it's similar, but you know, as in you're just kind of taking off one side if you didn't get the move you wanted. Point being, you can trade it throughout the entire time. But let's just check back because I wanted to see, yeah. So there it is, quite a miss. You know, median estimate was a rise of 3. Bloomberg survey was a rise of about 2.5. We end up getting a draw of almost 4 million barrels. PAD 3 crude, a decline of 5.3. Maybe that's one of the biggest shakers in there in terms of driving that negative 3.8. Gasoline, minus 4.6. Estimate had been a decline of about 3 million barrels. Distillates off as well, a rise of 383,000 versus an estimated decline of 2 million. Refinery utilization, not quite where they thought. Estimate was going to be 0.5, only 0.1. Crude imports, 30,000. Crude inputs, 30,000 barrels a day. Yeah. And one more check before we jump away, because sometimes.
Well, you know, it's so interesting. What you have here, too, folks, is that you're busting into the top of this consolidation.
Sure.
So if this thing does bust open, it could be really a wild day.
Yeah.
You know, when you're up at the top of this has been a long consolidation. So, you know, we'll see if things are going to break topside. You get some, see this?
Yeah.
And 57.81, and the highs up there, that's
55.17.
Yeah.
Just
If we
looking at
go
these.
to the right-hand
Yeah,
side.
sure. Even further. These.
Yeah, there you go.
57.81, right
See,
where we are.
We're right at it.
And how about this guy? 57.88.
Yep, we're right at it. This is going to be...
So we did get to 57.92 already, and it looks like, so we are above 57.88,
Yeah.
57.81, and I'm just looking at some of what, like the high of this, 60.11, and what's the high of this guy over here? Come on, 58.70. All in the general range. You know what I mean in terms of like the pennies, in my opinion, don't matter as much as seeing exactly how it just kind of handles this level in general.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because this was the battle. That's the battle line. The battle line is set up pretty nice.
Because you can see, right, when you get above that, you're just dealing with from this point to this point.
Oh, exactly.
And the high is 76.
If they can get above it, it's clear sailing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And now this will still be delayed, but this intraday.
Excuse me.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We'll see how this shakes out because
Yeah.
you got a decent spike, but just looking at that right now, it doesn't look to me like that thing is going to hold. So
Hold higher, you're talking about?
Yeah.
I'm just going to check
right.
back even again. Yeah, so just hanging at that 58. We're now 5 minutes past that news. Oh, 58.05, 58.06. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. 877-927-6648. We got one of the Tigers want to talk about small caps.
Okay.
So
IWM.
If we're talking small caps, folks, okay, small caps have been the weakest indice out here. And the question is it a good short candidate? It's definitely a good short candidate. Now, I wouldn't do it right now. It just doesn't make any sense at this particular point because you're still over yesterday's high, which is 154.98. You'd want to say, you want to let this thing go, and I'd want that to close under yesterday's high.
Okay.
You know, we're coming into the downdraft with dramatically lighter volume. So the downdraft is 29 million, and that was just from the 6th. On Monday, it did 20 million. Yesterday, it did 18, and that's why to me, you get a failure there, then it's like, okay, you have a failure on price also. We already have light volume.
Yeah.
And we know that the small cap basically started the route on the way down. So,
yeah,
you know, it's, and I suspect, let's just go to the UK for a second because
they got anything going on over there?
this is going to come out of nowhere and everywhere. I mean, that's what it seems like. Do you know what I mean?
We'll get that
Sorry
ringer.
about that,
I know.
folks.
We've only been doing a show for 20 years. Someday we'll.
Yeah.
You gotta see who it is. There.
So the UK right now is up $5. You're trading 71.56, and I believe you're going to have more votes today.
Okay.
You know, and it's going to be one of these.
Why don't we go back?
Are you going to
Okay.
leave the UK? I mean, you're going to leave the European Union again. I don't even know why they're going to have that vote, but there's a couple votes out there.
Yeah. Well, as far as the voting again, you know, it's unfortunate they vote for one thing, you can't get it done. But unfortunately, what seems to be happening is that I don't even know if the public really does support it at this point, 2.5 years later.
Right.
Because, you know, it's one thing saying vote again the next day, right? Because that's not fair at all, because nothing's changed. But in 2.5 years, 3 years, a lot has changed.
Yeah.
And that's where you see the politicians, because if the people are holding the politicians to their vote, right, they would have to get it done. The reason why they're not getting it done is because they believe they don't have the support of the people to do a hard Brexit. It's a dicey situation. It's really a dicey situation. And they got a lot to sort out.
Man.
And they got 16 days to do it. Right? 16 days. 16 very busy, hectic days.
Let's go see inside the NDX. So the NDX, folks, is the strongest index. It has been for the last few days. You get the leaders out here is Take-Two Interactive. That's up 3.5%. Mercado Libre is up at 2.8. You get NVIDIA up 2.8. Now, taken away from it, you got Western Digital down 1.3. Regeneron Biotech down 1. Nothing heavy. Micron down 1. Let's go see what good old Apple's doing, because this is the first time that Apple has been moving. Well, it's kind of a hard time today. Interesting.
Yeah.
Apple only have 19 cents.
Yeah. It's,
Last couple of days are pretty good, though.
the dramatic thing is, look how high it is. Look how much it is off the high. It was up at 183.30. We're trading at 181. That's a $2.
That's only today.
That's a $2.30 drop in the last 45 minutes since the market was open.
Stay right there, folks. Tommy and I coming right back. We get the Dow up 123, Nasdaq up 46, S&P's up 16. Be right back.
If you're in the CD market and looking for a secure investment, the Tiger First Mortgage Program may work for you. The security for these first mortgages are building lots in the Tax Opportunity Zone in St. Petersburg, Florida. The Tax Act of 2018 set up tax-free zones across the country where you can build and hold for 10 years and pay no tax on the profits, which makes these lots valuable. The investment is anywhere from $30,000 to $75,000. The interest paid is 7% yearly, paid on a monthly basis. According to Bankrate.com, the best rate for a 4-year CD in the country as of February 20th is 3.1%. A $50,000 investment at a normal 4-year CD rate of 3.1% would give you income of $1,550 per year or $6,200 over the 4-year period. That same $50,000 investment in the Tiger First Mortgage Program would give you $3,500 per year or $14,000 over the 4 years. Which would you prefer, $6,200 or $14,000 of interest on your investment? If you would like more information about the Tiger First Mortgage Program, you can call me at 877-518-9190. That's 877-518-9190.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. Dow right now up 130, Nasdaq up 45, S&P's up 16.5. Let's go over to our man, Mr. Teddy Cakestad, as we do each and every Wednesday at 40 past the hour. You can reach Teddy every trading day, folks, at forex-trading-unlocked.com. Teddy Cakestad, what's going on, brother?
Oh, we have a heat wave in Chicago. That's what's going on. I think that's the greatest news of the day.
That's a beautiful thing, man.
Right?
It's about time, right?
Quality of life is living, man. Totally.
You're in the middle of March. That totally makes sense.
And what's a heat wave, man?
45, 50.
Today, I think we're going to be 55 degrees.
Oh, that's a heat wave for sure, man. Yeah.
Well, it's time to get
Considering we were 0 just a week and a half ago, yeah, it's great.
Wow, that's
good
amazing.
old Windy City. That's a heat wave for sure.
That's definitely a heat wave. So, you know, we're going through the Brexit deal. Like, finally, the euro got a little movement. You know, we hadn't had the euro get any movement. This pound, man, you know, like the bottom line is that, like Tommy was talking about a little bit earlier, it's like every vote, you can just buy the pound. I mean.
After it collapses. That's the key part.
Isn't it?
I agree. It's almost like it's the buy dip scenario with what's going on right now.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's so cool? Like, this is a really big deal. There's no doubt about it. But the market is saying, like, Boris Johnson just come across saying that there is going to be a deal before they get out, and they're getting out. But the market is saying that it was not going to be a hard Brexit. That's how I'm looking at it anyway.
No, I could completely agree, but you do see a little bit of that fear every time that they say, oh, maybe there might be something we're not sure of, right? And they say, okay, no, it's not.
Yeah.
Well, I think what the market's doing, gentlemen, is kind of discounting the news. Whereas the news is sensationalized. I mean, what do the Europeans have to talk about now except for Brexit?
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
So, and I think that, I mean, we know that there's 3 key votes that they're going to have next week. If it doesn't work out properly, whatever, things may get extended, whatever. The reality is Brexit's going to happen. I think that the news sensationalizes everything a little bit too much about it, and the market is showing you that hard Brexit, soft Brexit, Brexit's going to happen. And like we've talked about before, like, if the politicians may not agree on things from one day to the next to get this thing smoothed out, but the trade is not going to stop. The UK is not going to stop trading with the rest of the EU and vice versa. You know, like everyone's not on hold. They're going to just keep on going. And I think you're going to see them as time goes by next week and into the following weeks, that's pretty much what they're going to do is say that if we can't make a decision, nothing is going to change except for the fact that the UK is maintaining their sovereignty, and they are definitely breaking away as far as policy and things like that.
Yeah, you can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no doubt, man. There's no doubt.
That's what it says every time that pound trades higher, man. 132, right? I mean, we're sitting right under 130, 187 right now.
Yeah.
And the dollar's is kind of an offer right now too. So it's making this lift in the pound and the euro. I mean, right now all your majors are gaining against the dollar.
Right.
We had buy signals a couple days ago and sell signals to support this. Our targets were hit over the past yesterday and today. So, and if you look at like the euro, it spiked low below 112 last week. Now where it's at, it's really at the bottom of the support range where this basically $3, $4 range it's been in for months. So this rally in the short run, it looks nice, especially if you bought this dip. But I wouldn't be a major bull right now, in the euro versus the dollar, because there's no reason for it to accelerate right now, like up to like the 120 area. But you can see it back around 113, 114, but then pull back on any given day a buck. It seems like the sell-offs are definitely harsher.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the chart right up now, Teddy. You can see the sell-off definitely. Well, what's interesting though, right, is that you definitely, the euro broke down and it came back inside that range. So it's like, okay, why? You know what I mean? That's the other side of it, I think. It's like, okay.
And are you looking at the low from last week, how it spiked down like
yes.
that? It was a very heavy sell-off day. And then the next day you could see that it was just started to get absorbed, and it was just overzealous spike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's quite a spike, right? 113.20 to 111.77, but then we're right back up to 113.20 almost. 113.07.
No,
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
that could be because the algo is really running the stops. That really could have been a move that was just. In today's world, that's why you can't fight against the machines, and you have these spikes that are kind of erroneous out of nowhere, where here it looked like the end of the world, and everyone was preaching at the end of that day, like the euro is finally going to start getting slammed, and then look what happens.
Surprise.
We're right back into this range.
Yeah, so, hey, what do you think? The yen, is hanging above this 110. We are at 111. It seems like it's just hanging there.
Right. The yen is just like, it kind of looks like it wants to be a bull. It looks more, I think it's more neutral than anything.
Okay.
And this 112 psychological area seems like it's a really big resistance area to breach, Yeah. So, and I think they're really watching the Nikkei, and I think this, with what's going on in China, like we talked about with the yuan and things like that, and since we know there really is not going to be any major news with this going forward, I think that the yen is pretty much in limbo.
Okay.
Because look at what's going on with the dollar right now. We have the pound. Every currency is making a big move, even the U.S. dollar, Canada. The only two that aren't doing anything is the Australian dollar, U.S. dollar, and the U.S. dollar yen. Both in the same trade zone, both that are hanging on all these same different, as they're reassessing how to balance trade throughout Asia. So I think that that's really what you're seeing with those currencies, is that unless there's a reason to rock Japan, it's kind of stable, and same with the Australian dollar, It's kind of going to be range trading and not really excessively moving.
Yeah, so it's the euro and the pound that's running everything, right? That's what he's saying, which is kind of cool. Yeah, I mean,
right.
Realist, you know what I mean? It's going to be...
And then there's also, remember, we've been watching the U.S. dollar Swiss.
Yes.
Yeah.
Today, it finally gets back. I think it's only about 50 cents above parity. That's when I looked at it before we went on the air.
Okay.
So it's heading back towards parity, and that's when it hits parity, you're probably going to see, that's why I said these other markets, they've got this little run, give them a little more juice. The Swiss hits parity, and then if it holds there and bobbles around there, we go more to it back into a wide range trade again, and all those currencies for probably another week.
I'm telling you, man, right now, I mean, you've been doing this for a long time in the currency market, but it really seems to me that these currencies are really running the market too. And the correlation is kind of wild, because sometimes, like if the dollar is going up or down, the correlation in the marketplace is not as direct as it is right now, because it seems like when the dollar starts pulling back, our own S&P, for some reason, doesn't like it. So it's like, okay, why are you pulling back? It seemed that the companies would make more money with a weaker dollar, but market-wise...
Right, you would think so.
Yeah, but market-wise, it's doing a little bit different right now, so it's going to be intriguing.
Although we have Boeing. We have the Boeing incident, which we're definitely aware of that news in Chicago. So, I mean, that's really hitting the S&P index.
No, there's no doubt. And that's right, because Boeing moved from Seattle to Chicago, 5 years ago or something? Headquarters are in Chicago now. Yeah, interesting, man.
And how much is their stock down just in the past week?
Big dollars, man.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, the
11,
the
12%,
NASDAQ, everything else was up the other day, and the S&Ps were down because of Boeing.
Right.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, listen, man, you have a great week, safe week. Appreciate the update, Teddy.
Enjoy that summer
All right,
weather,
guys.
man.
We'll see how the Brexit vote goes and talk about it next week.
Awesome.
I love it, man.
We look forward to it,
And
man.
listen, folks, you can
Take care.
reach Teddy every trading day at forex-trading-unlock.com. Stay right there, folks. Tommy and I come right back.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. Dow's up 135, Nasdaq's up 55, S&P's up 19. That S&P, let's keep grinding higher, man.
Yeah, they all kind of. NASDAQ as well, man. We can look. NASDAQ 100, we got the chart on the right here. And we're at session highs, 72.59 in the NASDAQ 100. Speaking of highs.
Yeah, the cannabis business.
Yeah, and let me jump over. That was a nice little segue I had. There we go. So you got Aurora Cannabis popping this morning, up 82 cents. Almost 10%. So quite a pop, and it's on the news that Nelson Peltz, who runs a $10 billion management fund, Trian Fund Management, he is brought on as an advisor, and they kind of go down the deal in terms of talking about he has a phenomenal track record. They're excited to bring him on. So he gets 20 million options at 10.34 Canadian, okay? Now, as of Tuesday's close, Canada closed at 10.64. I'm assuming it got a similar 10% pop, right? So you're up about $1.06 or something. Yeah, it's not. The point being, so we got him at 10.34.
There it is, 11.74.
Okay, that's it. Yeah, and I knew it was going to be $1.06. I had said, right? Well, $1.09. So we got him slightly in the money. And we were going over at the break, so he gets 20 million options. As of last night, each one was about 30 cents in the money. So you're only talking about $6 million basically in equity for those options. Now, you could argue there's a lot more value, right? Because you can just hold them. There's no risk to the down. And then they vest over a quarterly basis over 4 years, but faster if certain conditions are met, one of them being hitting $41. Well, trading at 11, and they hit 41. He's going to have 20 million shares at $30 a profit each. That's $600 million in profit. And if exercised in full, that would make him the second largest shareholder, only to an ETF of Vanguard. But the company, $8.7 billion market cap. They only gave him $6 million basically in equity and options, and I imagine that's going to be a good deal. Investors agree.
Big time. Stay right there, folks. Fast Market coming up next. Have a great one. Have a safe one. Thanks, pal.
Thanks, man.
Go get him, folks.